Hey guys, James from James Workshop here, and GW might be cooking in the background. I have not been around much lately, and they have dropped a considerable amount of updates, models coming out. Also, just like some things to kind of read into for what might be future releases. So let's just have a look at everything. So to begin with, Sunday preview. We're not looking through all the individual models. We've gone through most of these guys anyway. But I just wanted to acknowledge that Death Corps of Krieg Combat Patrol. This is the first time GW, at least in modern 40k, have dropped a non-Cadian Combat Patrol battle box, whatever you want to call it, for the Imperial Guard in 40k. The other week, last week maybe, they did drop the auxiliary solar, whatever, the Terror Imperial Guard battle box, battle force, whatever it's called, for Horus Heresy. So technically they have at the same time dropped another battle box combat patrol for Imperial Guard, but not in 40k. But this just kind of leads me into a bit later in the video where we're going to be looking at, well, what's going to be happening with the Imperial Guard in the future. I think GW are now starting to lean away from the Cadians because there's so many Cadian things out there that I think they might be cooking in the background, and I think we're going to see some news and updates in kill teams. So we'll look at that later. And just, you know, we've got the Drukhari stuff coming out. Very cool. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve a lot more new models, so hopefully you guys get that soon. And then we got some cool, well, we got a cool Team World book. I will be getting this if I can get it in time. Everything sells out instantly these days, so hopefully I can get it. Other news, Assault Terminators. We needed this GW. Thank you so much. These models look sick. These might be the best looking Terminators they have dropped so far. They've really kept it to the original designs. I really like them. I do hope they release I'm about to say like a upgrade pack, but not even an upgrade pack. I hope they release a Blood Angels version of the Assault Terminators, because Blood Angels need some love. They need some love. But look how sick these models are. Well done. They look fantastic. Very much. Where are they? I've got my original metal Assault Terminators somewhere in the cupboards behind me. They are very much true to it. They've kept the new design, but they are very much, once again, true to the original Terminator design. They look fantastic. And I love the Rebreather half mask helmet on this guy. But I also love this jaw. Like this, I don't know what it is. It's probably like just like a combat thing where he's probably got like his ears are covered and it just goes underneath his jaw, so it's probably wired in something. There's some lore probably there, but it looks sick as well. And well, here's the I guess the ancient, the captain. I don't know what the fuck to call this guy. He's got a bloody cool flag though. Good job. Looks great. And we also get Crux Terminatus, the battle force. Good job. Good job, GW. I actually might buy this. When I got the Indominus box, I sold the Space Marine half, which I do regret, because I only wanted the Tyranids. I probably will be picking this box up. It is fantastic. You get a shit ton of Terminators, and it's just good. And although I am more so a Dark Angels person, and obviously we've got our own different Dark Angels, Terminators are good, and I can always just put extra bits on these guys to make them more Dark Angel-y, but they're just Terminators, they're cool, and it's just a really awesome box, and I'm sure it'll be good value for money regardless. Moving on, I was actually really excited when I saw this yesterday. Legion Imperialis. I've been thinking about this for ages. The epic scale Horus Heresy series. They are dropping a bunch of combat forces, and it says technically 131 miniatures, because obviously some of these Imperial Guard Space Marine troops are tiny on there. I think it's just really cool though. I've been really keen to, I think I would actually play this more than the actual 40k game. I don't know how the rules work, but I feel like it might just be a bit simpler and a bit more fun. So you got obviously the Astartes, the Space Marines, bunch of shit in there, very nice. The Mechanicum, I really enjoy the Mechanicum because they can kind of let all the big robots out, and you get such a big army for such a cheap price overall, because obviously all the models are epic scale, they're small. the Solar Auxilia. So the Earth Imperial Guard Regiment. Very nice. A lot of stuff there. So 3 drops here. Very nice. I actually hope, and this might just be me locally, but no one plays this locally. So hopefully this will be the start of people playing Legions Imperialis, because I really like all of this. I think, like most people, you'd probably get these Space Marines, but hopefully this is just the start and they'll start releasing more stuff for this, because epic scale stuff is cool. And I kind of wish they did an epic scale for 40k, but once again, we don't want them to oversaturate the game systems, because we already have Necromunda, Kill Team, normal 40k, we've got epic scale, we've got Horus Heresy, and that's just all the sci-fi stuff we're into doing with 40k / 30k. A lot of game systems. And there's the flying one as well. Moving on. Narrative, a grand narrative week for 40k. And I don't really care about the narrative itself. I will wait to see what all the lore is. Have a read of this if you want to see what's going on. But basically, what's going on in this grand narrative week, I think it directly goes into the Kill Team. And I'll let you know why. So, to begin with, they're saying this is going to happen on the legendary Iron Guard Regiment homeworld of Mordian. So if you don't know, the Meridians are these navy, pompous-looking officer guys. This is where this regiment comes from. The Meridian Iron Guard, basically artillery and infantry. And I've been thinking, how are GW going to continue to bring out more and more different Imperial Guard regiments? Because they've been dropping, other than Death Corps of Krieg, they've actually dropped a couple other different regiments models, either in Kill Team or in actual just 40k models. We just recently had those Khan style, those what's it called? I don't know, Khan. So basically the horse guys for Imperial Guard, and they come out in the not the new Combat Patrol, but the other Imperial Guard Combat Patrol. I literally was blanking out on them, but they've been slowly dropping like other Imperial Guard forces. I'm thinking, what's the next one? Well, I think this is it. I think it's going to be the Meridian Iron Guard, and the reason I say that is because we've had this Kill Team leak, right? So we've just had Tomb World come out, which is the Death Watch versus the Necrons. Makes sense, right? We knew about that one. But then a couple of months ago, we had a leak of the Battle Sisters, Adeptus Sororitas versus the Chaos. More specifically, the Chaos Raptors, which will not be coming out for a long time. And we have this unknown Kill Team release, which we probably will find out very soon, especially considering they've dropped this grand narrative update. So I'm willing to bet in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we'll probably actually find out what that next Kill Team box is, considering we just had the first box release. And if you go through here, we've got Chaos, you've got the Imperium, so you've got Death Watch, and then you've got the Assassinorium. And I think the Assassinorium is going to be technically coming out through the tabletop through Shadow Hunt in regards to the Adeptus Sororitas. Obviously, the Assassinorium is not Adeptus Sororitas, acknowledged. But I think that's just how they're going to do the grand narrative overall. So they'll have the narrative, but then they'll have a combination release of models. So we might get a commemorative model of an assassin coming out, because there's only so many assassins and we've got them all out. And assassins do make amazing commemorative models. And we've only had the sniper guy, the Vindicare assassin. Is that what it is? No, I don't remember. I don't care. Regardless, moving on. We also have the Harlequins and the Necrons. Once again, so there's basically 4 things there: Death Watch, Necrons, tick tick, Chaos, tick, Assassinorium, if I'm correct, and it comes out and they kind of do the narrative of the assassins, but they are also in conjunction with a actual military force of the Battle Sisters, tick. But what's going to be in this middle one? Well, according to my theory here, Ancient Opposites, Harlequins. We are going to get a Harlequin Kill Team as the Xeno / non-Imperium force. And as you know, it's always an Imperium force versus Chaos or a Xenos force in almost every single case, especially Kill Team. I think in every case in Kill Team, correct me if I'm wrong, there might have been 1 or 2 boxes. We've had a lot of Kill Team sets come out. But I think because this narrative is happening on Meridian, it's going to be a Meridian Iron Guard kill team box. So I firmly believe, I'm losing myself here, it's going to be Meridian Iron Guard kill team troops here versus Harlequins. I'm locking that in. I'm shipping it off. I'm sending it. Gone. Done. So these guys versus Harlequins. I think that's going to be awesome if that is the case. Outside of that, we've got, obviously, kind of in line with Harlequins, we've got the Drukhari coming out this week, which we've already touched on. And the Harlequins actually aren't their own army anymore. And I do believe the Harlequins can fit into either Drukhari or Eldari. Or the Eldar. So it would make sense for the Drukhari to get a minor update, or at least the start of their updates now, because we started having that a couple of years ago with the Eldar. And now we can drip feed in the Harlequins update as well, because Harlequins need a big update as well. And we also have this combat patrol of Harlequins, which has not come out yet. And it also might lead into making sense that we might actually get some new sick models that will feed into this, but also expand on the Harlequins. Because the Harlequins, when they were their own battle force, their own army, they were not a very big roster. So that's what I firmly believe. Let me know what you guys think is going to be this mystery kill team box. Is it going to be the Meridian Iron Guard versus the Harlequins, or will it be something else? Let me know. And just for the sake of it, Astra Militarum, I firmly believe GW are going to try and release models for all the big regiments, because the way they have been doing it, as we know, it's always just been the Cadian Guard. But the way the regiments work, all the regiments have their one specific focus. Obviously, the Cadians were the biggest. They kind of did a bit of everything. But they are so many regiments. Where are all the regiments? Here we go. I had this all prepped, but then I wiped it all out. So notable Imperial Guard regiments. There's some really cool regiments through here. And these are all the notable ones. The ones with lore that you kind of go off. And I don't even know about the Prime Dragoons. Is there enough lore here? No. Regardless, I think the Warhawks. So these guys are basically drop troops, right? You drop them in. Aerial assault. You basically push them out like ODST troops. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. I know we've already had some Tempestus Scions from the Cadian Tempestus Scions versus the Bug Boys from the Tau. But who's to say we don't have another military force from another Xenos force that's going to verse these guys, and these guys could be that. I don't know. I think there's so many known and well-documented Imperial Guard regiments here. This is a big fucking list. And a lot of these are very well known that they can drop whatever they want. Elysian drop troops, once again, ODST. These guys also do a lot of the flying and stuff. So, absolutely, these guys would be sick for some drop troops. We also need a lot more updates model-wise for the Imperial Guard. So who's to say they don't update some of these flying ships and at the same time they drop some Elysian troops in there as some drop guys. Or, as I said before, the Harlequin Warhawks. I really want them to do some drop troops. That's all I'm going to keep saying. Otherwise, we've got the Armageddon Steel Legion. These guys are the Armored Legion of the Imperial Guard. These guys are all the tanks. Well, we need new tanks and stuff. Everything's quite old. Who's to say they just don't drop some new tanks in, like some of the artillery units? They just put some of these Armageddon units on there. So instead of putting just generic Canadian infantry on there, they put some of these guys on there. Give it some more flavor. And I really think GW are in the process of starting to update how the Imperial Guard works. And they want the Imperial Guard to be a big convergence of different regiments all coming together to make one big cohesive battle force. Whilst at the same time trying to allow you just to stick to one theme if that's what you want to do. And there's very different ways GW could do this. But regardless, I think there's a lot of cool things they can do with Imperial Guard. And yes, to stop me from rambling on, there is so much going on right now that I'm really excited for in this last week that GW have announced or is coming out. I'm very excited and keen to see what will be coming soon. Outside of that, if GW keep releasing updates like this, I'll be releasing a lot more videos, and I do apologize for not releasing much lately. I have both been on and off sick, and I've also been grinding the ever-living shit out of Silksong. So my motivation's been low, and I've just been grinding my health and, well, Silksong. Fantastic game. Otherwise, like, subscribe, guys, and I will see you next time.